professional football. This portion is brought to you by General Motors of Canada Limited, on behalf of GM dealers throughout Canada, who invite you to see and drive the new Mark of Excellence cars for 1970.
The commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Jake Adore, certainly must have a friend in an influential position, because I think Jake ordered and was delivered this afternoon absolutely ideal weather conditions for playoff football. That's the way it is here in Toronto. Hello, everybody. I'm Tom McKee. With me is Bernie Filoni, our expert analyst on our broadcast. And Bernie, as you know, and everybody knows, Ottawa received the bye into these Eastern Conference finals, while Toronto had to beat out Hamilton last week. Now, the question is, do you think that momentum of winning the game against Hamilton for Argos is going to carry them through this first game today?
They'll have to, and especially defensively. In this last ball game, Ed Learn was the Mr. Gunny on the spot, intercepting one of two passes in the ball game here, and he caught that flat on his back. Zuger, back after a long layup, was throwing the ball very well. Throws this pass to Wazalowski. Nothing much happened in that first quarter. In the second quarter, Tommy Joe Coffey kicked a 40-yard field goal that put the Hamilton Tiger Cats in front 3-0. Something that isn't used much in the professional football games is the quick kick. And Zuger gets a beauty away here. He kicks the ball from his 16-yard line, and it was a 69-yard quick kick. Krawchuk, who runs the punch back for Hamilton, runs his third down punt back and fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Mel Prophet. And this sets up a field goal by Johansson from the 34-yard line that tied up the score 3-3. It's Learn and Zuger again, and Zuger getting ready on an option play here, runs the ball, is hit hard, and Learn comes in just a bit late. This is where Zuger is injured and has to leave the ball game. Mantle comes in, number 10, and he hands off right to Buchanan and left to Fleming and takes the ball over for a touchdown himself. Mantle didn't work much offensively, and he came in, and some of the veterans helped him out by saying, well, if we put a twin throw to the right, hand the ball off here, and it worked in to a touchdown by Mantle, and quite an asset. Cosentino alternated with Wilkinson and set up this Johansson field goal on a 13-yard run. With Steve Johansson making the score, Toronto 6, Hamilton 3 after a 44-yard field goal. One of the biggest plays in the game was this fumble recovery by Harrington. Buchanan running the ball, fumbles, Ed Harrington comes up with it, and this sets up another play that puts the ball down in close. It's Wilkinson throwing the ball to Thornton for 29 yards. We'll see Thornton come back to the ball to make that big play. Wilkinson throwing the ball very well, comes up with another pass to Prophet, 12-yard pass. It takes the ball inside the 2-yard line, setting up a touchdown by Tom Wilkinson. And after a couple of signals, the score is 15-9, Toronto. Hamilton is still in the football game, and their speedster, Garney Henley, takes a screen pass behind fine blocking, almost goes all the way. He runs out of field on the left side, but this sets up the Learn and the nemesis really for that day, because Learn was falling down, intercepting this last pass, the last effort by the Tiger Cats to get into the ball game or get back in to win, and Learn lying down intercepts that ball, and the score ends up on 15-9 in favor of the Toronto Argonauts.
Well, those are the highlights of what happened 7 days ago. But now it's this Sunday, and it's this game, Eastern Conference first game of the Total Point Series against Ottawa. Return to Don Chevrier, our play-by-play broadcaster. And Don, first of all, the weather's good, but what about this field?
Well, the weather can't save the field, although it's not in that bad shape. Certainly better than the semifinal game last week, and indeed better than Lansdowne Park, where the last game of this series goes. Lansdowne Park is quite a mess after the game in Ottawa yesterday, the junior playoff game, but today mainly between the hash marks. If they could play the game in the end zone here, they might be all right, but of course they can't. Rough Riders and Argonauts are all set, ready for our national anthem and the opening kickoff after this message.
For you
You can see it's a pretty pleasant day here for mid-November. 40 degrees in Toronto. The winds out of the west at 20 miles an hour, and they'll favor the Rough Riders in this first quarter.
And joining the Aquatic Institute marching band is singing "O Canada."
So for the 7th time since the end of the Second World War, the Rough Riders and the Argonauts are in a playoff series, and for the 5th time they're battling for the right to represent the East in the Grey Cup game. Harry Ross is the referee. Gibbs Sagan, Bill Dell, Bud Wiley, and Lauren Woods are the other officials. And number 14, Don Sutherland, getting squared away to get this game underway with the Ottawa kickoff. Tomlin, Simons, back deep. 33 is Simons, and 23 is Jim Tomlin. The 14th import, not starting, Vanoy for Toronto, and Thomas, the new back for Ottawa. Simons back to the 29-yard line with Sutherland's opening kickoff.
Bernie, I'm a little surprised that Ottawa kicked off there.
Well, with the greasy field and a little wind out there, Tom, they probably are relying on their defense. They put some wrinkles in their defense to combat this Argonaut offense, and I think by kicking off and showing their defensive strength might be a wise move, or so Frank Clare feels it's wise anyway.
Wilkinson, 19, Argonaut starting quarterback. Mickey Moore. A 1-yard gain hit by Gene Gaines at the 30-yard line. Argonauts will be 2nd and 9. Mickey Moore, number 30, starting in the backfield. Dick Thornton played the semifinal game against Hamilton last week, and Thornton will stick to defense, all things being equal this afternoon. Number 21 for the Rough Riders, Wayne Giardino, is playing at the far corner, where he has been all year, but they expect he'll be in offensively as a starting halfback, and the Riders have the ball. Poirier knocks it away from Jim Court across the 50-yard line, and on 3rd and 9, Dave Mann and the kicking team will come on for Toronto. And we'll kick to Cooper and Ardern. Billy Cooper down at the 40-yard line. Prophet and Lebrock led the tacklers downfield, the punt traveling 42 yards. So for the first time today, the Rough Riders have the ball. First down at their own 39-yard line. Giardino, 21, and Mankins with Stewart in the backfield. Thornton defending on Whit Tucker, but there is a marker down near the line of scrimmage. Infraction against the Toronto Argonauts. Rough play will take it downfield. 15 yards to the 54 of the Riders, and they will be first down from there. Jay Roberts is the tight end, number 76. Adkins down by Tomlin, 46-yard line, and close to first down range.
Margene Atkins, number 73, one of Jackson's favorite receivers, on a breakout pattern. You see he almost slipped there, and it's very slippery going on that field. He did slip finally. You know, it's really a field like that as a passer's dreamed on, because the receivers know where they're going, and I've said this all through the year, when you get on a slippery field, that they'll probably throw the ball more than run the ball.
Well, of course, the patterns on the wide side, past the hash marks, can be run like they would be on a fine summer's day. It's pretty good out there. The rough going in this field is in the center, of course, where it's most frequently traveled. Just a little bit shy of the first down, to the 46-yard line. Marv Lester's playing the middle where Alan Ray Aldridge usually goes, at least on this series of downs. Russ Jackson has the better part of 5 yards on the Ottawa first down. Point of scrimmage will be the 41-yard line. Rough Riders first down from there. Argonauts then with some defensive changes. Dave Metchell, 69, is playing the left defensive end, formerly occupied by Vernon Van Noy. Harrington, of course, 54, the right Toronto defensive end. Jackson overthrowing Whit Tucker at the Toronto 20-yard line. Thornton and Learn back there to cover.
Well, there's no doubt, Don, that this is excellent football weather. The only thing is that with that bright sunshine, I wonder if the team defending the zone to our left, Bernie, is going to have trouble not only with punts and with placement kicks, but also defending those passes from Jackson in this particular case.
Well, it's very hard to look into that sun and catch the ball and even defend against it. Jackson can see, of course, but the receivers have a tough time seeing the football.
2nd and 10, 41-yard line. No scores yet. That time they made it work. The very same pattern as the previous play, and it's a long first down at the Argonauts 16. Jackson to Whit Tucker.
You're right, Don. It is the very same pattern, and Jackson must see that those wide zones are open. He's getting a lot of time to throw the football out there, and Whit Tucker makes a catch right inside the strike zone.
A 25-yard gain. The Rough Riders moving with apparent ease. The first time they have the ball. Tucker, 26, going right. Adkins, 73, wide left. Mackett and Giardino stuck behind Jackson. Giardino. Picks up a gain of about 9, maybe 10 yards, close to a first down. Jim Dye and Jim Tomlin combined to stop him.
Wayne Giardino, normally a defensive corner, is a real tough football player, Don, and he shows there that when he runs that football, he runs tough also.
Called for a measurement to determine whether it's an Ottawa first down. And with that timeout on the field, 10:44 to play in the first quarter, the score is Ottawa nothing and Toronto nothing.
Hey, Harry, how's the boy? You're looking good. Hey, how's the family, huh? She is? Hey, that makes 6, doesn't it? Great. Hey, how's the new car coming? Oh, really? Gee, that's too bad. Well, we both looked at Buicks, Harry.
Life is not a bowl of cherries, and Buick knows it. So Buick makes a car that's something to believe in. Take the 1970 Buick LeSabre.
This baby's got, Harry? Craftsmanship.
You can get a 455 cubic inch engine,
An engine? You think you
a
see
new
engine?
Buick cooling system that should never overheat, a radio antenna in the windshield.
I'm cleaning the antenna.
And we build our cars with product integrity, traditional craftsmanship. The rest of the world may vary in quality, but if we can help it, and we can, we'll always be something to believe in. Wouldn't you really rather have a 1970 Buick, Harry?
Well, as you likely saw as we left for that short break, the Rough Riders did have the first down. They've moved the ball on this first series of plays for them from the 39-yard line to a point just outside the Argonaut 6. They are first and goal to go. Giardino. Down near the 3-yard line. Marker is down across field, though. We'll check and see whether it... No, it is a call. It's against the Argonauts for offside. Rough Riders naturally will accept the penalty. They take the ball halfway to the goal line. That's about the point Giardino was stopped. But from there, they'll be first down as opposed to second down, and they elected to take the game. The first and goal from the Toronto 3. Nowhere to go at the 3-yard line on contact with Walt Balasek, number 64. Balasek and Meckler on the same side defensively. Wadsworth and Harrington across field as the Argonaut front four, with Luster in the middle, Bloom and Martin on the corners. Trying to stop this Ottawa series inside the 5-yard line. Second down and goal to go from the 3. Russ Jackson with the first score of the Eastern Conference Final Series. And here, Bernie, it's a matter of picking your spot to cut in.
Well, Jackson, on a rollout, he has the option to pass or run. He sees about 5 yards of clear daylight there. He's hit really at the 3-yard line, and actually jumped over that tackler. He's hit in the end zone.
So it is 6-0, and Don Southern will attempt to make it 7-0 for the Rough Riders on the point after attempt. Southern makes good, and the Rough Riders score first in the Eastern Finals, lead by a score of 7-0, with 9:25 left on the clock in the first quarter. This is really the first 8 of this 2-game total point round. If you look at this as one football game lasting 120 minutes, which it is. The next game, of course, back in Ottawa on Saturday afternoon.
This final is the 7th playoff series between the Argos and the Rough Riders since World War II, the 5th for the right to represent the East in the Grey Cup game. Toronto defeated Ottawa in 45 and 47. That was in the final, and in the semifinals in 1961. And Ottawa has won over Toronto 1960, 1968, both of those finals, and the 1967 semifinals.
Southern getting set to kick to Simons and Tomlin. 8 yards deep at Simons. And the Rough Riders did a great job of breaking down that blocking. Simons got back 30 yards. Ed Joyner made the principal tackle at the 21-yard line. And again, the Argos have poor field position from which to start their second series of downs in this game. Ottawa 7, the Argonauts nothing. First quarter, C&E Stadium in Toronto. Simon, upended by Jerry Campbell. No gain on the play, maybe half a yard, if that. At the 21-yard line, it is no gain, 2nd and 10. Giardino is still in there, going 2 ways, having played offensive halfback, staying in as corner linebacker on defense, at least for the time being.
The Rough Riders are playing a straight 4-3 defense, a pro defense. They're rushing 5. They're rushing a corner either side whenever the rollouts haven't come.
Second and 10. In court at the 25-yard line, and it will be third down. There's an infraction here, though. Martha's throw near the line of scrimmage, and with that westerly wind, it blew all the way back inside the 10-yard line. It was an offside penalty against the Rough Riders. So a change of plans for the Argonauts. Dave Mann had come in to kick. Now the regular offensive team comes back out. Second and 5 to go from the 26th with the walk-off on the penalty. That penalty has been the Argonauts' best game today. Dickie Moore is very close, but I think short of the first down, just inside the 31. Ken Lehman, number 41, met him for the Rough Riders. And Leo Cahill decides this is no time to take chances, although they will have a measurement. They appear to be just half a yard short. There's the evidence. And we'll kick to Billy Cooper and Barry Arduin. 20 is Arduin, 23 is Cooper. And Bray chases Arduin out at center field, and the Rough Riders will start from there. 27-yard kick, the shortest today, and the two coaches and the officials have agreed that if a very short kick, say a 15 yards or less, comes into play, they will, when in effect amounts to use the American fair catch rule and just blow the whistle dead right there and stop the play if it is that short. But 27 yards, of course, that last one is treated normally. Wayne Giardino has 5 yards across the 50-yard line. Dave Nexel, 69, just getting up, was the tackler.
Regarding that short kick, Don, it is covered in the rule book. If we have time later in the game, perhaps we could read the paragraph too.
Second and 5 to go. Adkins, the receiver, had fallen at the 30-yard line, and the ball sailed for Jackson's sake safely into touch at the 15-yard line with a couple of anxious Argonauts back there waiting for it. So it's third and 5 now, and the Rough Riders send in their punting team. 7-0 Ottawa is the score. 34 is Sternberg, 32 even, going back to the goal line. And Berkeley, number 15, with his first punting attempt today. Mike Even is taken down by Tommy Pullen. That's a tough catch to make, especially the ball coming high in that sun out of the west end of the stadium. 49 yards was the kick, and they're back to the 4-yard line from where the Argonauts for the first down.
Here's how that rule reads. Should a kick ball travel only a short distance across the line of scrimmage so that players of the kicking team have no opportunity of giving yards to a receiver, the referee may whistle the ball dead immediately it touches the ground, or a player and the ball shall be awarded to the receiving team without a no-yards penalty. So it's spelled out in black and white.
Moore is a mile offside. Lehman dropped a gift interception. Mark tackle had been the receiver, but Dickie Moore, flaring out on the right side, got a good 4 yards across the line of scrimmage with a full head of steam as the ball was snapped back from center. Rough Riders have declined the penalty, and the Argonauts stay at the 4-yard line, 2nd and 10. Tom Wilkinson encountering trouble again this week in moving the Argonaut offensive team. Taylor, 24 wide left, Thorpe, 20 on the right side. Takes to Moore. Wilkinson with a big charge from Kane and Booth, got in behind the official to get a little bit of protection there, Bernard.
I was saying he had another charger in there, and the official just couldn't get out of the way fast enough for Wilkinson, who was backpedaling because they did have a big rush on him at that point, and he ran right into him.
That's Harry Ross, the referee, and I guess in a situation like that, you use any blocking you can find, whether it's planned or not. And Ross just happened to be there. 3rd down from the 4-yard line, and Dave Mann sets the punt from the end zone. Ardern back to the 27-yard line, and once more the Riders have great field position.
Talking about that decision to make the kickoff to the Argonauts has certainly worked out well for the Rough Riders and Frank Clare. They scored a touchdown. They've kept the Argonauts in their own end of the field and come up with a ball in good field position on 3 occasions.
That wind is tough. 28 yards was the length of the last punt into it by Dave Mann. From the 27, Rough Riders 1st down. Here's Russ Jackson. Close to a 1st down at the 17-yard line. Walt Balasek, number 64, hit him first, and then Learn followed up. And they put the ball down at the 18 and should be about a yard short of that 1st down. Four and a half minutes to play in this opening quarter. The Rough Riders lead 7-0. As they scored the first time they had the ball, moving right downfield from the 39. Jackson capping it with a rollout play from the 3. Jim Mackins, the 1st down at the 15-yard line. The gain was 3. Marv Lester, 27, made the stop.
Marv Lester, number 27, is a very great defensive linebacker. He moves around, and here he comes right into the hole and hits Mankins very hard first. Those linebackers of the Argonauts are moving inside and outside, depending upon the backfield setup, the linemen of the Rough Riders. And you'll see them blitzing occasionally also to one side.
A marker throw, and that ball batted down just as Jackson released it. Mike Wadsworth, the Argonaut player who knocked the pass down, but something illegal occurred in there.
Here comes a rush, and Jackson setting up to throw the ball, and the ball is knocked down. Let's watch. It looks like a roughing call there, maybe roughing the passer.
Looked like Ed Harrington was the culprit there, while Wadsworth got a piece of the ball. Ed got a piece of Russ Jackson. So again, half the distance to the goal line at the 7.5. The Rough Riders are 1st and goal to go from there. 3.5 minutes remain now in the 1st quarter. Giardino. Ball came loose. Martin has it, but they have whistled the play down. And I believe the ball is staying in possession of the Rough Riders.
Wayne Giardino on an end run, running hard, tries to run over the Argonauts. And the ball comes loose just as he hits the ground. But they call it a dead ball.
Second down and goal to go. Mike Bloom with a tackle on Jackson.
Things are turning into a fervor out there, Don.
There's a timeout on the field with 2:33 to play in this first quarter. The score is Ottawa 7 and Toronto nothing.
Know what I am? I'm a Buick owner. Surprised? You see, I like the feel of beautiful things. Like my 1970 Skylark Custom. It just, well, kind of lit my fire. Nice, strong lines, don't you think? Makes the girl feel more protected. And there are two other light your fire cars, the GS and the GS 455. Made more for guys, with hood scoops that really work. Bigger engines, that sort of thing. I didn't know Buick made cars like this. I know they light your fire. They have mine. Buick owners have sort of a thing in common. We think it's beautiful. When beautiful things get together.
The 1970 Light Your Fire Buicks are at Buick dealers now.
After Jackson was thrown for an 8-yard loss by Mike Bloom, the ball is at the 12-yard line, and Don Southern, with Jackson holding, will attempt a field goal from the 20, the angle shot left. Southern makes good, and the Rough Riders up their lead by 3. 10-0 now over the Argonauts, with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to play in this, the first quarter. And the Argo fans will long be talking, I'm sure, all next week about that fumble that might have been. And actually, had Pete Martin had the play been allowed as a fumble, had Martin picked it up, which he did, and been allowed to run, he had the entire far side, Bernie, wide open to him.
Good, Don, and he has pretty good speed, too, for a big lineman.
First down from the 35. Wilkinson, 19, still the quarterback. Offside again. Bobby Taylor, the receiver, was offside. He gained 10 yards, but they'll bring it back.
Bobby Taylor was the man offside, and there he is. He's offside. He leaves really before the ball is snapped, even though the pass was completed.
Well, maybe a problem with this crowd making so much noise is a wide flanker, Bernie, and hearing those signals correctly.
It's hard to hear the signals, but you always are looking in towards the ball, Don, and there's no excuse for a flanker to be offside, really.
They take it back 5 to the Toronto 30. They are 1st and 15 from there. Bill Simon. Surrounded. Campbell brings him down. At the bottom was Gene Gaines. And the loss is 5 more, back to the 25.
Gene Gaines, number 22, playing safety. Whenever there's a wide run, comes up fast to the inside, and we'll see Gaines coming up in on this play and making the tackle first. Help there from Campbell.
The Argonauts' net offense in this game, the first quarter, about 1:20 to play, is 1 yard net. Simon. All alone at the 20-yard line. They lose 5 more. Gaines was there along with Ed Joyner, number 63.
Not much blocking help out there, Bernie.
Well, it's the type of defense, too, Tom, that Ottawa's playing. They force that wide side very fast. They're leaving their deep receivers weak by doing that, but they feel that if they can come up and force the outside run in the pass, that they'll come up with plays like they just did.
Just saw Durden Cooper at center field, awaiting Dave Mann's come. Billy Cooper at the 45-yard line, taken down by Mel Prophet. The clock with a bit of flag up shows 41 seconds in the opening quarter. Ottawa 10, Toronto nothing.
Well, gentlemen, whichever way you look at it, the 1969 CFL season is coming to a close, and it all winds up 2 weeks from this afternoon from the Autostand and the Grey Cup game in Montreal. CBC color cameras will be there all week with special programs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, along with the Grey Cup preview and the Grey Cup game on Sunday.
Whip Tucker at the 15-yard line was the intended receiver. 17 Ron Arends defending against him. And again on that play, I think the sun came to the fore there with both the receiver and the defender looking back into that very bright sun out of the west. Clock now shows 21 seconds left in the opening quarter. Rough Riders 2nd and 10, just outside the 45 of the Argonauts. Jackson goes to Ronnie Stewart. And he will be about half a yard short as they mark the ball at the 36-yard line, maybe a yard short of the first down as play expires in the opening 15 minutes. The end of the first quarter, the score is Ottawa 10 and Toronto nothing. We'll return to CFL action after this message.
You bought last year's Pontiac Grand Prix because it was a looker, right? Well, I'm here to tell you the 70 Grand Prix is a mover. I ordered a full 55 cube. Me, I gotta have that handling, performance. But I still think, look, get in the car. There ain't no better looker than a 70 Pontiac Grand Prix. And that's the way it's gonna be.
Look familiar? Those short little trips around town can really foul spark plugs and make your engine lose power. Better see your United Delco AC dealer for Acniter spark plugs. AC keeps your car in action with sensational new Acniter spark plugs. They fire extra hot, burn extra clean, help your car run smoother. Get Acniters and other quality United Delco AC products where you see this sign.
The Rough Riders have not yet indicated that they will be punting here. Third down and a little less than a yard to go outside the 35 of the Argonauts. Of course, now the teams have changed ends, and this 20-mile-an-hour wind is at the backs of the Argonauts into the faces of the Rough Riders. Total offense in the first quarter as Russ Jackson double checks at the bench with Frank Clare. 75 yards Ottawa and -6 for Toronto. '21 Giordino is in at halfback. Jackson keeps and gets the first down. All between the 33 and the 34. Rough Rider first down. Just starting the second quarter, or really the second half of the first quarter of the two-game total point series. Wayne Giordino again impressing as an offensive runner. Wadsworth took him down inside the 30-yard line between the 27 and the 28 of the second down. About 3.5, 4 yards to go. It is Ottawa 10, Toronto nothing. Southern field goal. Jackson steps down. The scoring play. Learn with a tackle on Ron Stewart at the 20. And that's another first down. Bob Hudspeth, 66. A rookie offensive tackle sitting next to 60, Danny Nicolak. Valley Bray, 57. Look at some of the Argonaut offensive linemen. Right now their defense has the task of stopping the Rough Riders, who have almost moved the ball at will today. Adkins. He stop by Dick Thornton. And the gain will be about 3 to 4 yards from Arjun Atkins on the rarely used end-around play. It's rarely used by the Rough Riders with Atkins. '54 is Harrington, 77 is Martin. 21 Giardino and 16 Mankins, 11 Stewart in the backfield for the Rough Riders. Out to Stewart. He stopped near the first down marker in the area of the 10-yard line, and the marking of the ball will be all important here. It looks as though they have the first down. There it is. The Argonauts have had 3 cracks at defeating the Rough Riders in the regular season, and 3 chances to come up with a defense to contain Russ Jackson and that backfield, which is varied throughout the year. Now, of course, with the loss of Vic Washington, the Riders have had the halfback of the week playing for them. The new boy today, Gene Thomas, has not been in yet, but Giardino extremely confident in there and giving that Argonaut defense fit. The pass for Tucker was low, in behind the goalpost. There's a marker down.
Ed Harrington, the tough defensive end for the Toronto Argonauts, is mixing up here with a little giant guy, Ronnie Stewart. Watch this.
Another rough play call it is against Toronto to the 5-yard line. And the Riders are first and goal from there.
He swept him away there like a little fly. Got in the way.
It is 10-0, 11:20 to play in the first half, and the Riders pressing for more points right here. Atkins sets on wide left. Tucker to the right. That's the first time they've been able to steal Giardino for a loss, and it was Dave Neckel, the defensive end from the left side, number 69.
Here's Giardino on that play that has gained yardage for the Rough Riders, and Neckel coming in, knifing in hard to make that tackle for a loss.
Loss of 4. Bernie takes it back to the 9-yard line, and the Riders have second down coming up. Billy Cooper, number 23, comes in for Giardino. Riders are called for delay of game.
Not only delaying the game there, but they've been delaying the Argonauts getting that football. They've had it for the last 4.5 minutes, and the Argonauts are going to have to do something to get away from it.
A timeout on the field with 10:32 to play, and the second quarter the score is Ottawa 10, Toronto nothing.
I'm Lloyd Robertson. Every Saturday and Sunday night, CBC Weekend brings you an hour and more of what's happening across this country and around the world. On the Saturday edition of Weekend, we'll be traveling the electronic highway across Canada with a report from the Maritimes, a story from Quebec, a look at the Ontario scene, comment from the prairies, or folk happenings and entertainment on the West Coast. On Sunday, we open Weekend's window on the world to bring you reports from Michael McClear in London, David Halton in Paris, Ab Douglas in Moscow, Ron Collister in Ottawa, as well as CBC Weekend's own team of correspondents. And on either night, we could have someone prominent in the news sitting right here on the hot seat. The questions will be penetrating, the answers revealing. Whatever happens, it'll be lively and entertaining, and you'll get all the news as well on CBC Weekend, Saturday and Sunday nights. Watch us.
Obviously the artwork of Toronto Argonaut fans, but I don't think it's working. And check that. Wade is scratched out. Luger's scratched out. They're waiting for Jackson.
No line through Russ Jackson yet. Again, Jackson's receiver, Adkins, fell down.
Archie Atkins, well, I don't know, he's having a tough time staying on his feet. He came on a break-in pattern there and then had to sort of stop up and just couldn't stand on his feet. A little slippery.
All by himself. Tomlin a good chance for the interception there. So it is third down, back at the 14, and Don Southern is called upon for a field goal attempt at about the 22. That is wide. Even lost the ball. And they rule he got it back. The Rough Riders are not very happy about the call. Tom Bana, number 61, jumping up and down, insisting the officials were wrong, but they were right there with the call, and the Argonauts get that ball out on the single point, as opposed to a much more expensive touchdown.
That was fairly close. Danny Deaver was the one who was in there wrestling for that football, and he felt sure that he had it.
An indication of the play. We have exactly 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Ottawa had that ball for all of those first 5 minutes. Taylor.
They mark him away back at the 36-yard line. Taylor and Ardern are Gaines in a dispute at the sideline. That's quickly broken up. That'll be the first completed pass and the first down for the Argonauts.
Taylor catches that ball, but he's out of bounds. We can't quite see it there, and he keeps on running, thinking it's inbound, so Gaines is going to hit him.
11-yard gain to the 36. Thorpe made the catch. Gaines made the tackle, but the officials dropped the marker back 5 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage. In fact, there are two markers, one away back downfield. At one signal there against the Rough Riders. And that is it, illegal substitution. The two officials obviously spotted it, the man downfield plus the sideline umpire.
Well, Bill Simons played a part there, too. He spotted it and called it to the attention of the official on this near side.
Yes, it pays to double check and count the opposition just every so often. From the 46, first down. Mickey Moore across the 50-yard line. Ken Lehman, 41, got to him first. The gain is about 5 yards at the 51.
I must feel like going through a mixmaster, Bernie, sometimes on that play anyway.
Boy, it's kind of rough at times, Tom. We're going through that big line, and especially when you're going down and the linebacker comes up just a little bit late.
Gaines tipped the ball away from Jim Thorpe at center field, and the Argonauts will be third in the better part of 5 to go.
One of Gene Gaines' better defensive plays, coming up from that safety position and coming in on those quick passes. I can remember one time when he intercepted 2 of those on me that went all the way back for 6 points.
He would have gone on that one, too. Nothing there but air.
20 is doing 23 Cooper, and with the win now, man, if he can get this punt away, we'll have a better one. Ardern is down right there inside the 5-yard line. The fans were hollering for rough play against Mann on the follow-through after the punt, but he was fair game out there as he had to run with that ball after the bad snap. It traveled with the bounce 54 yards.
I see Dave Mann picking up the football and getting out of that protective kicker's pocket area, and he's fair game, as you mentioned, on. So there's no rough play call there.
See, Lehman really had his arms extended trying to block the punch from the side, and the contact was made on the follow-through. So from the 4-yard line, Rough Riders first down, 8 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the first half, the second quarter of this game. And Ottawa leads 11-0. Giardino, heavy contact from Marvin Lester. And he moved the ball a yard.
This game is far from over. There's a lot of good contact out there, hard hitting by both defensive squads, and this is the first break that the Argonauts have had by getting the ball deep in the Ottawa Rough Rider territory on that kick by man.
Second down, 9 yards to go. The Argonauts get 2 points on a safety touch. Valosuk, 64. Harrington, 54, as Jackson, with enough time to throw, simply couldn't find anybody open. So it's 11-2 with 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter.
Actually, Don, that was a pretty fine football play by Jackson. He couldn't find a receiver. He didn't want to run it back out to the 1 yard line. By giving up 2 points there, he still maintains possession of the football and good field position. Much better than being on your own 1 yard line or 4 yard line.
The ball out to the 25. Rough Riders first down. Johnny Stewart. Good block by Bainan, sprung Stewart loose for more yardage around that left side near the 34-yard line, and he's only about a yard short of a first down. The gain is 9. Jim Tomlin, number 23, finally took him down. But Bainan threw the good block on Pete Martin, the corner linebacker, drifting in, trying to seal Stewart off right at the line of scrimmage. 6.5 minutes left until halftime. Second down, a yard to go. Argonauts searching for a ball they feel might have come loose in there. The gain is certainly far enough for the first down. Wayne Giardino getting 2 yards. So they move the yardstick. Next Wednesday, CBC Television will bring you the second game of the Western Final from McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Saskatchewan, of course, with the fourth quarter drive, winning the opening game 17-11 at Taylor Field yesterday. That's a best-of-3 series. Of course, here it is total points. The Rough Riders right now have a total of 11. The Argonauts a total of 2.
The Canadian College Championship Bowl will also be seen on the CBC stations on Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Marker thrown. Mankins has about 4 yards at the 40. The Argonauts, the indication shows, were offside. Ed Harrington, the right defensive end, jumping the gun.
There's the offside. Ed Harrington, 54, in the top of the screen, going offside before the ball is snapped.
That gives the Rough Riders a 1st and 5 at the 41. Argonauts have given up 43 yards in 6 penalty calls today. Jim Mankins. Mike Bloom trailing him with the tackle at the 49-yard line. And again, a Rough Rider first down.
Mike Bloom, number 70, defensive linebacker, filling in there and coming off a block there to make this tackle, number 16, Mankins. It's a tough job and a lot of traffic in there in that linebacking position.
And Mike was looking for a football that just might come loose if he tugged hard enough on the arm, but didn't. So Aldridge comes in now to play for Mike Bloom. Alan Ray Aldridge, his first appearance today. And Aldridge makes the tackle on Wayne Giardino, 69, Necto, following up. The gain is 3 yards. 2nd and 7 to come for the Rough Riders at their 52. And Ottawa has done a most effective job of retaining the ball against the wind and preventing the Argonaut offense from a chance to get it moving with that wind of about 20 miles an hour at their back. Hudson. That ball was deflected as Tomlin fell forward. Atkins at a clear field for an extra 5 or 7 yards.
Atkins making a fine catch there after tipping the ball and picking up some very valuable yardage.
You know, he says he likes them high, but I don't think he likes them that high.
Well, he got 14 out of the play, and at the 44, the Rough Riders are first down again, and we'll find a remarkable difference in the total of first downs and everything else. And Tom brings you the stats at halftime. That play is whistled down as, again, they took too long to get it away. That is the second time the Rough Riders have been penalized for a delay of game today. One was down near the 5-yard line, and they came away eventually with a single point. Takes the ball to the 49, first and 15 to go now. 11-2 is the score for the Rough Riders. Just over 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Giardino, big opening. He veered to the sideline. Tomlin finally with the tackle. And again, it's a sizable gain, not a first down, but a gain of 7 on the play. Wayne Giardino showing he's a complete football player. He's been on the punting team, the offensive team as a halfback. On the defensive team, where he normally plays, the corner linebacker. And doing them all equally well. You might ask for a raise when this is all over. Jackson got that ball away to Giardino under tremendous coverage and pressure. And slipped away from Harrington, who really had a nail back at the 40-yard line, and it's an incomplete pass. A timeout now on the field with 3:04 to play in the second quarter. The score is Ottawa 11 and Toronto 2.
Tonight, CBC Television presents Schuster Comedy Special. With special guests Ian and Sylvia and the Great Speckled Bird. Watch the Wayne and Schuster Comedy Special tonight on CBC Television.
Sunny afternoon in Toronto indeed, but that little shadow is the moon. After those 3 astronauts are going, but back to Earth here. With 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining.
Van Berkeley getting set to punt on third down for the Rough Riders. Sternberg. Well, you've got to give Jerry Sternberg full marks for tremendous effort. The punter, Van Berkeley, had to make the tackle. He got away from at least half a dozen Rough Riders and picked up 3 yards.
Tremendous effort by Jerry Sternberg on this, Don, and if he had just been able to stay on his feet after the last tackle, he spins off, he may have gone all the way because Jerry is quite fast. And we'll see him being bounced around like a billiard ball, and just on that last attempt, he couldn't quite stay on his feet.
Argonaut ball near the 10, first down. Bobby Taylor. At the 43-yard line, the Argonauts' biggest game, Joe Poirier, number 17, made the stop. The gain was 33 yards. Now Mike Eben, number 32, comes into play for Jim Short. And set to the left side. Bobby Taylor wide right. Bill Simon. For a slight loss at the 43. Simons has not been able to get on track. Well, they marked the ball now that he gained about half a yard.
Russ Jackson looking on and hasn't had too much chance to watch this game because he's been involved in most of it. At halftime, we'll have a special feature on the story of Russ Jackson.
What a story it's been here today and throughout several brilliant CFL campaigns. And Berkeley. Profit number 75, tackle Van Berkeley. Giardino had a good shot at the quarterback. Wilkinson coming in. The ball released and the interception made. The Rough Riders 9th against Toronto this year.
Tom Wilkinson just overthrew the ball there right into the arms of number 15, Billy Van Berkeley. And number 17, Joe Poirier, gets a key block to spring him. There he is right there. Van Berkeley makes a fine run back.
A minute and 27 seconds until halftime. The clock moving. First down from the 41. Makes an anthem. And the short toss to short. It is ruled incomplete as Ed Harriman picks it up just to make sure.
Don't forget our CBC coverage of the Grey Cup festivities. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Many programs coming out of Montreal, of course, capped by the Grey Cup game and Grey Cup preview, starting at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, November 30th, 2 weeks from today.
Billy Cooper now has come in, number 23, to play for Wayne Giardino. They got to rest Giardino once in a while, and he gets a moment or two now to catch a breath. Tucker lost the ball. Marvin Lester with the Argonauts recovery. We'll see this again now, Bernie. Tucker was in full flight at the 10-yard line and heading for the end zone when suddenly he didn't have the football any longer.
That's right, Don. Jackson had a lot of time to throw the football. There was a flood pattern with Tucker coming back against the grain. And it just seems to drop the ball as he tries to run between the two deep defenders. Jimmy Dye, and there's the ball breaking loose there. Marvin Lester, number 27, picks it up, and there's the boy with speed if he had a chance to get outside and run.
And they got to tack on a rough play penalty against the Rough Riders as well after that last play. So the Argonauts now are out to the 31-yard line with a minute and 5 seconds showing on the clock in the first half. First down from there. But the most important aspect from a Toronto standpoint on that play is not that they got the ball back, but they prevented either a touchdown or the setting up of another touchdown by the Rough Riders with that fumble. Bill Simon, number 33. To the 45-yard line, a 14-yard gain. Gene Gaines and Barry Ardern with the tackles on Simon. First down from the 45, now 59 seconds remaining. Bobby Taylor to the 46-yard line, hammered down there. And a good tackle by Jerry Campbell, number 54, after Gene Gaines had a piece of him. There's the flag and the scoreboard with 46 seconds showing on that clock. And Taylor falls down as the trainer gets to him, Stan Wilson, at the 50-yard line. He was stumbling. The trainer assumed he was going to be all right and get out under his own steam, but you saw him fall.
It's hard to say whether he's just groggy, Don. When he got up off the ground, looked like he was holding his back.
Here's the play. Yes. Taylor is dancing around and just turns around as Campbell comes in and catches him right in the chest in full flight. That's a really hard hit.
So understandably, the Argonauts will have to make changes. One is Mike Eden coming into play for Bobby Taylor, who's still being attended to. I said it has knocked the wind out of him, and that appears to be the case. He's a pretty tough, durable kind of guy. And Jim Tomlin now is playing offense where Dickie Moore used to be. That's a first for Tomlin in the offensive backfield this year. Back to the game, the 46-yard line, first down. Tomlin, interference call against Barry Ardern.
That was a long pass by Wilkinson, and Tomlin was in behind Ardern, and there's definitely interference call there. As you can see, Ardern pulling Tomlin's arm down.
Ardern knew it too, Bernie. He didn't argue the call one bit.
And it's the penalty you have to take to stop a touchdown, because that's what Tomlin had if Ardern didn't make some kind of move with a receiver in behind him. They put the ball down on the 10-yard line following the illegal interference call, and here comes Bobby Taylor back into the game. "26 seconds remaining, 11-2 Rough Riders. That's in the first half, of course. Touchdown for Bobby Taylor. There's a flag down. Wait a minute. Back at the 10-yard line. It is against Ottawa. The touchdown will stand. It was rough play against the Rough Riders. And so Taylor's touchdown counts and makes the score 11-8. After what appeared to be, on the basis of controlling the play, a runaway for the Rough Riders, the score now is going to be remarkably close at halftime. The convert attempt will come from Tom Johansson, number 11, Frank Cosentino to hold. Another flag down. The convert appeared to be good. The penalty was against the Rough Riders, and they will add that on, likely. Rough play again. Add that on to the kickoff, which will be coming up. So we have 19 seconds to play. The score is 11-9. They're 2 points apart. And the Argonauts, with that win, will kick off from the Ottawa 50-yard line as the 15 yards is added on for rough play. Tom?
I'm going to ask Bernie if he felt the same way I did, that the Argonauts came out and they seemed to be trying too hard in the first quarter, but seem to have settled away now and certainly are playing a more steady brand of football.
You know what really happens, Tom, is that they had to change in that rim position, and it sort of picks everybody up.
Something unusual going on here, Don. They got penalized on 2 successive calls. So look where this ball's being kicked
I
off.
can't recall seeing a kickoff from the defending team's 35-yard line before, but there it is. Commissioner
Jake Adore sitting beside me, and he doesn't ever recall in his long career in football of seeing such a thing.
They go for the short kick. Danny Deaver gets back to the 39-yard line, and that is 4. Here's another flag. That is 4 in behind where the ball was kicked from the 35.
Well, I suppose that's not a bad call, but it almost boomeranged on the Argos.
This time the penalty is against Toronto. And again, it is rough play, and that indicates the very high feelings here in this Eastern Final. 15 yards to the 54-yard line, and we have 14 seconds remaining in the first half. Now, many fans will wonder why the Argonauts did not attempt the single point, but with that wind, kicking it full out, it's awfully hard to control it. And, of course, if it goes out of the end zone entirely, you don't get a point. You must repeat the kickoff. Giardino. The 41-yard line, and now we have 9 seconds left as the Rough Riders get closer possibly to scoring range near the end of the first half. Clock is moving, 6 seconds, now 5. Giardino to the 38-yard line, perhaps trying to straighten out a possible field goal attempt. Dave Mechtel, 69, made the tackle. And here comes Don Sutherland, but he has that wind against him, remember, and will have to kick from the 45-yard line. The average punt into the wind has gone only 25 to 30 yards today. Mike Even at the 10, back to the 20-yard line. That's the end of the first half. A reminder that our halftime feature concerns Russell Stanley Jackson, the Rough Riders' great all-Canadian quarterback. We'll be getting around to that in just a moment. The score is Ottawa 11 and Toronto 9. We'll return with our halftime show after this message.
Here is a man